Hey everybody, just came off the heels of a really fun and surprisingly strong Eden run last time, so I'm really thinking I gotta try another Eden run and see what it gives me. Some really great stuff with surprisingly the whiz last time, but it's time to look at this run. Starting stats seem good, most importantly my fire rate isn't awful, and Little Gertie as a starting item is kinda nice because I feel like this item is useful, I just never get a chance to really... It might be useful early on, but I never get a chance to really appreciate it. So, damage stat is actually at 2 bars for what that's worth. It doesn't seem to be too high, but it's better than it could be. Seed is XM21 BETC. 3 red hearts is great. I mean, it makes it a little harder to get to the deal with the devil on the second floor, because I don't have a spirit heart to protect myself, but that said, it's easy to take one, and I'm really not at any risk of dying. Unicorn Stump is an item I love, it's really useful. I don't know that it's really useful right now, except just as a chance to reposition, because while I'm using it I can't shoot, and I can't use Little Gertie to do damage during that time, because Little Gertie charges when I fire, so it's not going to be useful, but it could absolutely be useful. And all it needs for Unicorn Stump to be an amazing item and make us crazy strong is just for this boss fight to be Famine. I had to think for a second to remember which of the horsemen could show up on the first floor. Red Heart is nice, makes me think about playing the Sacrifice Room once. I'll admit, there's not really a lot of benefit to be gained from playing it just once. But if I could play it like 3 times, it has the chance to benefit. But for that I would need HP from the boss. The Peeper is another item I don't really respect very much, and for good reason. But it can be helpful, and man, Little Gertie is just really tearing through these first floor enemies. You know, he's not very useful against a boss later on, but he absolutely has what it takes to obliterate a bunch of red flies. And you know, later on, you'd say, obliterating red flies, what's it good for? Taking care of a couple red flies. Well, nothing, except early in the run, when you might have a tough time just dealing with a room full of red flies. So, with this HP, I've played the Sacrifice Room twice. If I get HP from the boss, I wouldn't mind spending it there. I do have enough money now to spawn an arcade on the next floor. Really, the good stuff in the Sacrifice Room doesn't come until like 5 or 6 plays in, so if I get more red hearts dropped, I'm probably not going to spend them on this. But it was good to get the chance at a couple cents, and I did get 1 penny. This Larry Jr. seems like the perfect boss, both for Little Gertie and for Peeper's Eye. What's it actually called? I'll never know now. I could play it 3 more times, but then I'd have very little HP going down to the next floor, and I'm just not feeling it at the moment. That'd be pretty risky, because I think plays 3 and 4 are just going to be the You Are Blessed thing, which isn't useful until later on. I've always wondered, you know, who that really is useful for, unless you have... Because usually if you're playing a Sacrifice Room... I'll use this now. Heat Blank Rin. I don't know what I'm going to use Blank Rin for, but I'll use it. By the time you get the You Are Blessed thing, you've usually spent red hearts, so even though it gives you a better chance of getting a deal with the angel, you've got a lot lower chance of getting a deal at all. This is definitely worth it. So, glad that I found the secret room and managed to just spend a bomb on it rather than spending 2 keys, since bombs are coming a lot easier than keys right now, and in general, I'd rather spend a bomb on something than a key, because there's only a couple things I absolutely need a bomb for: Tinned Rocks and Stone Chests, and both of those are wonderful bonuses. Whereas, when you need a key for an item room, you really need it, because missing an item room is not just... No, I thought there was enough room, I was very wrong. Missing an item room is just not the same as missing an optional extra. You kind of rely on an item. So, $3 bill throws some randomness in, and it means I have to be a little more careful in case I'm shooting with something like Fire Mine, so that I don't damage myself. But in giving me these random tier effects, It has the chance to generate a lot of power for me, as you saw when it was doing 20-20 Fire Mind, or for example, Death Touch. So ever since this item got the buff, I haven't taken damage on this floor, right? So I'm very much on track to get this deal with the devil. And I suppose I might as well use Blank Rune now. So, although I gotta be a little more careful with $3 bill, it's still an excellent item. Ever since the buff that caused it to have 2 effects instead of 1, and to change more than once, and to change like every so many seconds instead of just once per room, in case you get stuck with an effect you don't like enough or like too much, to balance it out more. And kind of like with the changes to experimental treatment, it doesn't have to change a lot, but it just makes it a lot more takeable. So it looks like for a second there I had both 20-20 and Inner Eye, which is to say triple shot, so I was shooting 6 shots, which is always fun. Alright, get in there, Little Gertie. This is the champion monster that shoots all the time and doesn't jump, so Corrosive Liquid was a great thing to have against him for a moment. I can't wait to kill this boss, because I would really like to scratch my nose right about now. It's one of those little itches you get. I probably shouldn't have taken that, but it's probably not a big deal. Sack Dagger. Sack Dagger is awesome because now Unicorn Stomp is all we need to almost completely win the run. Because Sack Dagger has huge damage, and just becoming invincible and running into enemies with Sack Dagger will clear out most rooms. Except, of course, on ones where I already used it. I didn't need to take damage going into the Curse Room. I could have used Unicorn Stomp and then I would have gotten another charge inside of it, and in fact that was my plan. I just didn't press the spacebar in time enough or hard enough or whatever, and ultimately it doesn't look like it's going to have a huge effect on the run. I normally hate these guys because Bonies are some of the more annoying enemies in the game, and having them spawn on top of dealing with another enemy first is usually not fun, but Unicorn Stomp Sack Dagger just wrecks everything. Man, it's weird just having the music die. That's interesting. Spawning the next wave restarted the music. It must trigger something, I suppose. Broken Remote could be fun with Unicorn Stomp if I didn't have Sack Dagger, just as a way to teleport every room. But now that I do have Sack Dagger is my way of dealing damage, and once I pop it, I don't want to teleport out. I want to stay and murder everything. One Unicorn Stomp play ought to run through most bosses, and now this is almost the same dilemma I had as on that Unicorn Stomp Cube of Meat and Mom's Knife run recently, where the run was so good that I had no clue what to talk about. And of all the problems to have in Game of Isaac, that's probably my favorite. A little less so when I'm recording, but still. Great, and honestly just a couple runs in a row reminding me how good this game can be to you. Not even by giving you necessarily Mom's Knife or Brimstone, but just by giving you the tools to make something really cool work with Unicorn Stomp or with Tiny Planet. Diplopia is awesome, but I'm not going to take it past this floor. I'm not going to leave Unicorn Stomp behind. I am going to take Diplopia and try to use it on, hopefully deal with the devil, but if not, the boss or shop item. So I'm just going to experiment with using couple rooms, firing with my regular tears, and experiencing the suffering of having to shoot like normal people. And then I'm going to go back to my wonderful, wonderful knife rampages. I can tell I'm doing well because I don't really need Little Gertie anymore. Peeper is just some extra damage that happens whenever. Wooden Spoon, I could totally double it, but okay, neither of these is good to double. Have I taken a deal with the devil yet? Yes, I took Sack Dagger. So all this would be doing is saving me 2 HP. But it's also, I mean, I'm certainly taking these two. I mean, what am I going to do? Diplopia the treasure room item? It might be good to Diplopia the treasure room item. Tell you what, I'm going to take 2 Guppy's hairballs just to block more shots and for fun. The treasure room item might be fun to diplopia, but unless it's something amazing, it's probably not going to be like that much better than the HP I saved, than saving an HP and getting an extra Guppy's Hairball. Guppy's Hairball isn't, by the way, a particularly great or strong item, but it does block shots, and although I don't love it, I have a hard time knocking it because most of the time I notice by the end of the floor, Guppy's Hairball has gained several levels in size, which means it must have been killing enemies while I wasn't looking. Fanny Pack, by the way, is playing out for us pretty well with IV Bag here. That's all I'm going to play it, but it got me a luck up, a couple consumables, and a really amazing amount of money. Wow, is my speed always this high? Wooden Spoon really did a huge benefit for me there. Oh, although I don't know that anyone says did a benefit for me, but yeah, with this much speed, Sack Dagger, my own tears are almost a secondary concern at this point. What a lovely run, and this is definitely looking like another run for Boss Rush. Second Guppy's Tail doesn't do anything for me here, and unfortunately taking 2 of the same Guppy item doesn't give you extra Guppy precedent, where I would already be Guppy. This is exactly the room where I would have wanted to have Unicorn Stump active, but it's fine. And Hierophant makes it hard to be mad about anything. I'm glad that there was combat in this room, so that I can recharge Unicorn Stump and not take damage, and on the caves too, I should get a boss room item out of this. And I did, and it's a luck upgrade, which is great. With a luck upgrade and Guppy's Tail, I should be getting a lot of chests. So the real issue is going to be having enough keys to open them all. I can hope to get lucky with the golden chests. Ah, yes, that's the issue with $3 bill. I may damage myself, but oh well. In a great position right now. So I'm likely to get a lot of golden chests, and I can possibly hope that these golden chests give me more keys than they cost. But with this few keys in store to work with, I can't necessarily assume that that's going to be the case. Probably at some point I'm just going to run out. So I want to be judicious what chests I open, and I would really love a shop item like Mom's Key. As a matter of fact, a shop item exactly like Mom's Key. And because I'm only at 11 minutes and 25 seconds on the boss fight of the caves too, I do have time to go back and look for the shop and still make it to boss rush in plenty of time. Especially with an item like Magic Mush, which is just an amazing damage upgrade, which funnily enough may not even come into play as long as I keep using Sack Dagger. Honestly, the biggest damage upgrade I could probably get here would be BFFs, doubling Sack Dagger's size and damage. And I can tell, by the way, that Guppy's Hairball, a second Guppy's Hairball, is doing something here because they've both grown in size, which means they're both killing enemies. Now, admittedly, they might have a harder time killing enemies if I wasn't intentionally running into everything, but that said, like, intentionally running into everything is the state in which I was in when I took the items, so I could have known right off the bat that was going to happen, so I'm actually going to play this with my regular HP first, because I would not mind being able to get into that boss trap room, and with Fanny Pack, taking actual damage here is really paying out well for me. Okay, I'm not going to be able to get into the boss trap room, but I'm going to be able to console myself with the fact that I have another speed upgrade, which should probably put me at max, or at the very least near it by now, and is going to make it really easy to use Unicorn Stump effectively. Because I can just zip across the room, killing everything. Obviously that speed down isn't exactly what I wanted to make that work better, but it's not really hurting that much either. Blank Card. This is the first really tough decision I've had this run, because I love min-maxing with Blank Card. But I honestly believe that no min-maxing with Blank Card is going to match the power or utility of this Unicorn Horn. Even if I had Blank Card Algas with this, it wouldn't be as powerful as this. I'd have to have blank card Yara and Yara and a chest with an item in it a bunch of times to really, and just get a lot of stuff going on to really match the beauty of this run. I do have the Emperor, which is a teleport card out of Boss Rush. That said, I can totally do the entirety of Boss Rush while invincible from Unicorn Stump. With this amount of speed, it's going to be really easy to get back and forth. And Sack Dagger ought to put out enough damage to just take out all the enemies pretty easily. I don't want to take another speed down pill, because that would make it a bit harder, and I'm glad I did not have a Unicorn Stump charge ready there, because I hit the spacebar, and that would have left me just standing there for a bit, waiting until I could shoot, or until Peeper killed it. But yeah, this is absurdly strong. I'm in no risk of taking damage because I'm pretty much invincible anytime enemies are in the room. And as a great bonus, I'm getting enough keys to keep opening golden chests without feeling bad about it. Also, by the way, the virus is an amazing pickup because it means I'm basically going to have infinite HP now. Makes me really want to find a sacrifice room. Sackhead is just adding insult to injury for the run. Or really whatever the opposite of that is for me. Just getting a lot of great things going. And yeah, honestly, as soon as I don't have Curse of the Unknown anymore and I can see how much HP I have... I know how much HP I have full HP. I'm ready to play a Sacrifice Room. There won't be one on this floor because every room is accounted for, but... Still gonna keep looking. I don't know whether Sackhead makes me more or less likely to get keys, but certainly going to get me a lot of cards, and I think it gets me just more consumables in general, so I'm going to say it's good, because yeah, I can turn pennies into keys. I could use the Hermit to teleport out of Boss Rush. I recognize that, and I don't need to. Cricket's Head isn't going to do that much when I already have Magic Mush, and also when I never shoot, but I can't wait until the first time I actually fire a bullet. And... okay, I tried it out. It's fine. It's doing real well, as a matter of fact, but I like the old way better. This way seems a little more effective. Ball of Bandages is just going to, if not double, greatly increase the rate at which I can just run into things and wreck everything in my path. Starting to get to the point where I need another key before I can justify opening any more golden chests, and that's fine. Running at 15 minutes and 57 seconds, which means not going to have any trouble getting to Boss Rush. Arcade means great chance of getting another speed upgrade here. Wow, I'm not used to having this many red HP at this point in a run. It's really kind of nice. It means any Sacrifice Room gambits are actually not going to be that hard to finance. And amazingly, I would actually rather play this with some Spirit Hearts than with my Red Hearts now, because I have lots of room to pick up more Red Hearts, but I'm running out of room to put my Spirit Hearts in. And there's Blood Bag, there's the HP refill. I'm going to take the Joker card with me, in case I don't get a deal with the devil naturally on a future floor, because I'm not worried about teleporting out of Boss Rush. I want to do Boss Rush. I honestly think I can do, if not all of it, most of it while invincible. And I'm really looking forward to giving it a shot. Bob's Rotten Head, not great, but hey, maybe it'll contribute to the Bob transformation. I think Second Hand is going to be more useful than Mom's Locket. What Mom's Locket does is, I believe it gives you, not a guarantee, but a chance to be healed for half a red heart upon opening a chest, which with Guppy's Tail is not nothing. Guppy's Tail nets me red hearts, but also, considering that I'm invincible and generating black hearts most of the time, I think it's probably more beneficial to have the Second Hand, which doubles the duration of status effects, such as the virus. So that means enemies are, if I'm understanding it correctly, that means enemies are being affected by the virus for twice as long, which means they're more likely to be killed by the virus. And have that chance to generate a black heart. Holy Light is an amazing luck-based item, and I've got a lot of good luck upgrades, or at least a few. So I'm totally happy to have that. I wish I could get through this, but I'll wait, and I'll kill it with my tears. So Holy Light is powerful, and happily, I don't even need it because I'm not using my tears. Can't stress that enough. Mom's Pox is an item as I've said before, love. Magic Fingers could be really useful with a good damage stat and this much money. That said, none of those can hold a candle to just the godlike power of Unicorn Stump and really any orbital. So, out of chances to find a sacrifice room on this floor. That's fine. Couple more floors on which it could possibly happen. I want to fight Mega Satan with this ultra powerful run. If I'm not able to, I won't cry. Not about this, at least. But I will be a little sad that I couldn't make something especially special happen. Is especially special redundant, or is it just too similar words? Man, firing and using our sack dagger damage does a lot of damage. Oh me, oh my, I took some damage. Definitely a run to go down to the dark room, just for variety's sake. Didn't get a deal with the devil, so I could totally use the Joker card. Midas Touch. Perfect. I can totally use the Joker card, and I'm going to do it after I finish Boss Rush. So Midas Touch means that any enemy I run into is going to be frozen and take damage, and generate coins when they die. You may recognize this as a pretty good synergy with Unicorn Stump, and with Unicorn Stump Sack Dagger. You may notice that I'm staying pretty true on my promise to stay invincible all the time, and with all these battery charges on the ground from Sackhead, it's just an amazing amount of utility. Dice Shard is a great item to have. Where's that last one? Great item to have on this boss rush, because there's going to be so much stuff to use the D20 on, and an item pedestal to use the D6 effect on. At this point, I'm just pressing Unicorn Stump every couple seconds, because it's always up. This is wonderful. I can't imagine a run more to my taste, which is to say, absurdly powerful in a silly and pretty unique way that requires a little forethought to put together. So I'm wondering, when I use Unicorn Stump before the previous Unicorn Stump ends, I thought that it just would refresh the duration of Unicorn Stump, you know, like for example, if Unicorn Stump lasts 5 seconds and I use it after 3 seconds, that I would just get another 5 seconds added onto that 3, or another 5 seconds from that point, so I'd have 3 and then 8 more, as opposed to, you know, if I'd waited afterwards, if I'd waited for the full 5, I could have 10 total. I don't know if I explained that quite right, but I'm hoping you get the gist that whether it adds on before or afterwards. But now I'm starting to wonder if using it multiple times before the first one's over actually just, instead of resetting it to 5, actually adds it on. So instead of, if you hit it after 3 seconds, instead of having 5 seconds left again, you have 8 seconds left, or 7 seconds left, because it adds to the 2 you still had. Dark Bomb. I can't not take Dark Bomb. I mean, I totally can. And honestly, my HP is so good that I totally will consider not taking it, just to show how little I need the game's pity at this point. You know, Dice Shard would have been good to take in here, but of course I couldn't take it in here because I had to have the Joker card to get in. So this Demon Judgment could give me a syringe I really like, he could give me Sin Robes. Get out of there! Ha! You thought you could kill my friend? You're gonna have to try a little harder than that. Gimpy. I thought I already had that. No, I just had Gimpy on the last run, which was also from a Demon Beggar and also pretty strong. Health up. Honestly, this is more red HP than I want. Let's take Necronomicon just to clear it out, and let's take... No, just kidding. I'm not going to take Necronomicon out of here. Oh, the door to Boss Rush is closed. I messed up bad. I could have D20'd all of that. And honestly, that's probably worth more than a single Joker card, especially since I probably would have gotten another Joker card from the ensuing chaos. Viewers, forgive me, for I have sinned by denying you the sight of a screen covered in consumables. Oh, that's right, I don't have a battery charge. But I do now have a bunch of red hearts and a black heart, so way to teach me my lesson for just running into enemies. Honestly, I'm going to take a gamble and say that it's still worth it to run into enemies, even without using Unicorn Stomp. Bombs are key. No effect. Now, that would be a lot more true if I had permanent Polaroid invincibility, but I think it's still going to be the case that I'm going to get... Look, I'm getting black hearts and a bunch of other stuff every time I just sprint headlong into an enemy. I'm not going to rely on that because I don't have to, but I just want to make the point that I could. I believe the boss fight is this way. Hit me. I want you to hit me. Show me that you care. Enough about my death. Don't just chase me around and let me shoot you. I want you to really show your commitment to your cause, and I want to throw it in your face and show you that you will never be strong enough to take me. The song is great for showing me where the boss fight is. Oh yeah, I don't have to dodge. Goodbye, bloat. It was nice to meet you. Shame you didn't get to fire a shot. I would have loved to see what your attack patterns on. I've heard they're totally fun and fair and not awful for everyone involved. Man, losing 4 red hearts, but taking all this great stuff. You know what? I'm gonna do a little extra checking around here because there could be a sacrifice room on this floor that I'm missing. And I don't want to miss my chance at Mega Satan, so it's not here. And my speed stat, unlike the last run, thankfully, is so high that I can just go and backtrack, and it doesn't make me want to gnaw my own toes off out of frustration that it took 10 seconds to walk across a big room. Wait, I can just use the sun card to check.
The sun.
That seems like a better way to check. There is not a sacrifice room. I can save the rest.
2 of spades.
Alright, so with a couple luck upgrades and 86 keys, even though I'm going to the dark room instead of the chest, I'm expecting to get a couple extra items there, so especially with Sackboy just causing all sorts of chaos. Is it Sackboy or Sackhead? Now I've got it all mixed up in my boy head. Got to deal with the devil on this floor, which was awesome. Maw the Void and Pact. 4 red hearts, but a lot of damage upgrades and a little HP. Oh no. Is this a dice room? Thank goodness it's not. If it was a dice room, I might have had the opportunity to re-roll the whole run, and I don't know if I could turn down that opportunity after the game has been so good to me. I don't know if I could just spit in the game's face and tell it I don't trust it anymore. At max HP, but if there's a sacrifice room on this floor, that's good to have around. And honestly, I keep talking about the sacrifice room because there's really not that much else to talk about strategy-wise. I am totally... From the second floor onwards, I was totally set to win the run. I really had all I needed in Unicorn Stomp, Sack Dagger, and anything else is just a bonus for quality of life. I mean, obviously it wouldn't have been fun fighting on the Cathedral with just Unicorn Stomp, Sack Dagger for the few enemies that can't take out and having to finish them with base damage, but with Unicorn Stomp, Sack Dagger, I could have made it happen as long as the HP kept coming. Everything else has just been more zaniness. There's no reason for me to pick up all these cards and keys because barring a cool looking rune, there's nothing I could want in there. Found the boss fight. Wow, I took a moment to fire and my tears seem pretty good. It's like I've been getting 1,000 items. It's fun just looking at the map and noticing all the things I'm leaving behind. Pretty entertaining. Get out of jail free card. Fighting Mega Satan. Perfect. So I'm going to pop the Joker now and carry that with me. I believe I have 2 red HP. So I'm going to take both of these just to get to permanent Polaroid invincibility, which I think I have Empty Vessel, unless that was the last run. I think I have Empty Vessel. In which case, I should get some invincibility from that too. And if this wears out, when this wears out, I'll drop a bomb on myself or just run into an enemy and see. Oh, that's right, it took the negative, so I'm not going to get Polaroid invincibility, but... And I have, like, mostly black hearts, so I can't really rely on that as a way of gauging my HP, so I'm just going to go down the Hush fight. I'm aware that Unicorn Stomp is going to be a lot less effective against the Hush. That said, with all the Friends Hush spawns and with Midas Touch Sackhead, I think I'm still going to get a lot of battery charges on the Hush fight as soon as I get through the first couple phases. I don't even have Head of the Keeper to get me a battery charge or two on the first part. Did get to, unfortunately, not permanent Polaroid invincibility, but I guess permanent negative, so actually not that powerful. Let's take a minute and appreciate what we could have. I'll admit, that's pretty freaking sick. It almost makes me want to take that instead of what we have. Since there's no benefit to having no HP, oh man, how can I not? It's not like I'm using my tears anyway. Since there's no benefit to having no HP, I'm gonna take Maggie's bow, so I'm not losing any invincibility for it. Don't blow up my donation machine, and I'm fine with that. Bell's a steel pill, not important. Bombs are key.
Bombs are.
I'm gonna say there's almost zero chance I use 90 keys or 90 bombs, or for that matter 80 of either, so I don't think it matters a great deal whether I kept that or not. Oh, that's right, I don't have normal shots anymore, I have Dr. Fetus. You should notice that. So, Dr. Fetus is a fun and silly item, and that could pretty much describe a lot of what I've got going on here. Dr. Fetus, obviously making me shoot out bombs, making me want to shoot a little less constantly. But it's kind of nice to have something totally different than our normal tiers for Unicorn Stomp. It's kind of nice to do completely different things with my two different methods of damage. Unfortunately, my tiers stat is actually a little higher than I'd want it to be, because if I fire constantly, well, at least when I don't have triple shot, I might shoot two bombs out and the first one will shoot the second one back, which actually is going to cause some things I don't like it exploding in my face and not hitting the enemy. That said, if I shoot them at different parts, and they're not shooting directly back at one another, it should be fine, and that's what I'm talking about. Okay, found a lot of enemies there. I was hoping that hitting them would give me a battery charge. It didn't, so I'm going to have to wait for the next batch before I start really going wild with running into enemies, but I'm still going to do it here. Battery charge. Battery charge. Alright. I really want to get a chain going here where I have 1,000 battery charges set up, and now this is all I have to do for the rest of the Hush fight. No more bullets. No more bombs, rather. Bombs are for war. Isaac doesn't want war. Isaac just wants to fight in the greatest battle of all. It's called love, Hush. Have you tried it? Have you tried love? Have you ever known Hush? Probably not, because from what I understand of lore, you may be actually a baby being suffocated under a bedsheet or something awful like that, because just look at your face, and Isaac is the sort of dark game where that would happen, so it's entirely possible that you have never known love, Hush. But have you considered accepting my love? Have you considered accepting the love of Jesus Christ, Savior? Probably not going to do much for you in this game, because biblical themes in this game don't seem to be doing a lot of protecting. They seem to be doing a lot more commentary on how frightening this sort of biblical imagery could be to a small child growing up in a fundamentalist household. At least according to what the analyses I've read of the lore and what Edmund McMillan has said in interviews about his goals of making the game, which is about that it's not necessarily supposed to be against religion or anything like that, but it's just supposed to both make light of and bring light to some of the ways it could be interpreted, which has ended up bizarre and funny. Also, Hush is dead. So, sacrifice room. Wait, I don't need a sacrifice room on this floor. I was just about to go on a whole speech about the odds of that, but how it'd be okay if I didn't find one, and I'd learn to live without it, and I don't need you, Sacrifice Room, but I'm carrying Get Out of Jail free cards, so this is absolutely going to be a run where I do Boss Rush, and Hush, and Mega Satan, and the Dark Room. And I've taken a lot of damage, but I have an item combination where I very reasonably could have done it without taking damage ever. Not out of skill, but just by pressing the spacebar appropriately and running around. I don't know if anyone watching this ever plays League of Legends, but this run feels like playing Singed. Everyone else is using... Every other champion and every other run is all trying to run around but strategically making plans for what to do, where to use what resources to get things done. And meanwhile, I just have one job. Run near enemies. It's great. So let's get this little fallen killed here. I wasn't impressed by your minion, Satan. I'd like to see what you got yourself. And frankly, that wasn't up to snuff. You got anything else? That's a little better, but I'm going to need more than that. I'm going to try and fight Mega You. And by the way, even though I could fight Mega Satan right away with this Get Out of Jail free card, I'm not going to. I'm going to explore the floor a bit, because I've got Guppy's tail and a lot of luck, and I want to see what happens. Also, I want to see if I get Guppy from these chests, and the answer is no, but I got Curse of the Tower, which is going to be fun, by which I mean funny, and I can't see anything, even Curse of the Tower killing us at this point. Even Soy Milk couldn't really have a negative impact on this run, because I'm not relying on my tiers for damage. Although I might against Mega Satan. And really, the only thing that could destroy this run is the Dice Room, which can't happen anymore, so... I guess it would just be a chest drop that contains... the D4 or the D100. And with those, I could re-roll myself into something awful, and even then, there's so many battery charges on the ground that I could just keep re-rolling. I can't think of a way to wreck this run irrecoverably. Missing, though? Is that in the regular item pool? I don't know. This is going to be a hard one to lose. I could totally do it by doing it the same way I lost that, I think... Oh, it wasn't a Maggie run. I wasn't playing Maggie, but some really strong run that I took against Mega Satan. Oh yeah, the IV Bag of Fame run, where I just blew all my HP on IV Bag out of cockiness, and then died against the last phase of Mega Satan because I had no HP left and couldn't dodge properly. That was a thing. There was a reason that episode was titled Hubris. But unless I do something like that, just intentionally trying to die, it's going to be hard to really crimp my style this run. Chaos card? Sure. I'll finish Mega Satan off. Now, as I understand, this only kills either his first phase or his second phase. My reflection, Dr. Fetus, is terrifying and fun. And since this only kills his first phase or his second phase, I gotta pick which I want to kill. Killing his first phase would skip all the mini-bosses spawning. So I gotta decide, is it more fun to fight the mini-bosses or just let them happen? Honestly, I kinda want to do the whole thing while invincible. So I'm gonna say that I'm gonna kill the first phase and then just unicorn stump the second phase to death. Curse of the Tower, you got this. Curse of the Tower is a valuable asset to this team, and I will never let anyone say otherwise in my presence without getting a stomping. So is this Curse of Darkness? Or is the Dark Room just always this dark? I'm literally at the Dark Room so rarely that I don't know. And granted, when I ask questions like, is the Dark Room always this dark, I should probably know. But that said, no, it's not always that dark. It cleared up, so... Oh, you know what? That wasn't Curse of Darkness. What that was...
Joker.
An Attack of the Lambs causing that. So I'm going to take Ghost Baby. Doesn't contribute to Conjoined or anything like that. It just exists. And I respect that. I respect that it doesn't care about anybody or anything else. Mr. Mega is an amazing upgrade to our tiers, which... You know what? I'm going to use those for a couple rooms just to try them out. With Hot Bombs, Mr. Mega, and Dr. Fetus, that seems... Oh, I don't have Hot Bombs. That was just Fire Mine acting like hot bombs. Because of $3 bill, which I've had so long now that I almost forget about. So never mind what I was about to say about that being a pretty good set of Dr. Fetus synergies. It's just one great Dr. Fetus synergy. It sucks that Dr. Fetus cancels out Holy Light, which is... Holy Light and Tough Love are some of my favorite items because I just love meticulously collecting luck upgrades and slowly becoming a god because of that one lucky pickup. I have a little bit of annoyance for this room, but hey, still killed in one uniform. So. And as I was going to say, I have a great deal of affection for any run that I can win based on those critical hits. Every room on the map is filled with stuff. I don't know if I remember a great run I've had where I had both and really made that work. But I feel like I've almost certainly gotten runs where I had both Tough Love and Holy Light. Right? You know what? Cut the nonsense. Die. I wasn't impressed with the Fallen. I wasn't impressed with Satan. I wasn't impressed with Satan's feet. And I'm not impressed with you, Mega Satan. Get out of my run. Here, I'll help you. Don't let Dr. Fetus hit you on the way out. Woo! Victory dance. Success. Thanks for watching. What a crazy run. Catch you later.